Princess Leonor of Spain's life may look like a fairy tale, but there have been many terrible things that happened that no one saw coming. Her journey is full of dark turns, from family scandals to too many demands. How much longer can she carry the weight of her royal duty? What has she been through? Let us talk about the terrible event that changed her life. Leonor, who will become Queen of Spain, was born on October 31st, 2005. Just after midnight 3 weeks earlier than planned, she was born to Felipe and Letizia, who were Prince and Princess of Asturias at the time, during the reign of her grandfather, King Juan Carlos I. She had a Caesarean section at Madrid's Ruber International Hospital because of problems during labor, and the royal family told the public about it in a very special way by SMS. Leonor left the hospital with her parents a week later, on November 7th. In January, she had her first royal rite, which was her baptism. The ceremony took place at the Zarzuela Palace on January 14th, 2006, and was led by Cardinal Antonio Rucco Varela, who is the Archbishop of Madrid. In keeping with royal tradition, she was baptized with water from the Jordan River in a font that has been used to bless Spanish kings for hundreds of years. Her godparents were King Juan Carlos I and Queen Sofia, who were her grandparents. She was given the honorific name Leonor de Todos los Santos. During her first few months, the little girl had a small mark on her nose that looked like a scratch. It was a benign angioma. There was talk in the media about surgery, but family members denied the reports, and the small mark went away on its own within a few months. People were interested in Leonor's life even when she was a baby. This was a sign of the attention she would receive as she became Queen of Spain. Everyone didn't understand this little girl who came before her time. Nobody could have known what road she would take. She amazed everyone as she grew up with how well she did in school and how brave she was to join the military, taking on the responsibilities of her new job with a strength and determination that surprised everyone. Leonor's first days in school were at the Escuela Infantil Guardia Real, a daycare for the children of the Spanish Royal Guard. She started elementary school at Santa Maria de los Rosales School in Aravaca, Madrid, on September 15, 2008, and was said to have done very well in school. Leonor started a 2-year foreign baccalaureate program at UWC Atlantic College in Wales in September 2021. She finished second grade in May 2023. She also went to summer camps in the US, which helped her learn new things and improve her language skills. She learned Spanish, Catalan, and English from her British grandmother, Queen Sofia, and her British babysitter. She has also learned Arabic, Mandarin, French, Galician, and Basque, showing how ready she is for a multicultural part. As Leonor will soon be Spain's leader, she started a tough 3-year military training program in August 2023. Her father, King Felipe VI, also did the same thing. The General Military Academy in Zaragoza, the Naval Military Academy in Marine, and the General Air Academy in Murcia are all part of this all-around training. For her military job, she chose to use both of her parents' last names, Bourbon Ortiz, and she refused to take the pay that cadets get. The royal family of Spain said goodbye to Princess Leonor, the future heir, and her parents and sister with tears in their eyes as she left for 3 years of military training. He put on a military outfit and went to drop off Leonor at the General Military Academy of Zaragoza with his wife Queen Letizia and youngest daughter Infanta Sofia, in the northeast of Spain. In an interview with reporters, Princess Leonor said she was excited about the new chapter but also a little worried. Queen Letizia looked sad as she said goodbye to her daughter with a hug. Father King Felipe, who was very proud of his daughter, put a protective hand on her shoulder as she rolled her suitcase to the front door of the school. In March of this year, Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles talked about the princess's visit. "It shows that we will have a supreme commander who is a woman when the time comes," she said. "And in the last few years, we've made a big effort to bring women into the armed forces. It's an important step for Her Royal Highness toward becoming leader of our country." She got her officer's saber on September 19th, 2023, and on October 7th, she swore loyalty to the Spanish flag in a formal ceremony that her parents watched. She won a silver medal in mixed team fencing at the 24th Sports Championship of Military Academies in January 2024. Leonor was trained in mountain maneuvers by Colonels José González Valles and Lieutenant Colonel Margarita Pardo de Santillana. By June, she had finished her training and was raised to cadet ensign. On July 3, 2024, her father gave her the Grand Cross of Military Merit. The Council of Ministers made her a midshipman in July, which meant she could go to the Naval Military Academy in Marine and start her training as a sailor on August 29, 2024. Leonor is getting the skills and strength she will need as Spain's leader in the future through these events. On October 31st, Princess Leonor, who will one day be Queen of Spain, will turn 19. As her birthday approaches, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia's oldest daughter has been appearing in public more and more. In 2019, she gave her first big speech by herself. Since then, she has been doing more and more solo events. Last summer, she also started 3 years of military training at the Zaragoza Military Academy. She has been very dedicated to her job as Cadet Bourbon, knowing that one day she will take over from her father as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. We expect young royals to live their lives a little differently than the average teen, but Princess Leonor seems to be taking on more duties than the other girls who wear tiaras. Why does that happen? It could be because she is the first in line to the Spanish throne. Why do you need a few middle names when a royal person has 6 names, like Princess Leonor of Spain? At birth, she was called Her Royal Highness Infanta Leonor of Spain. But when her father, Prince Philippe, became King Philippe VI, the young princess took on his old title, which is given to any possible child, and became Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Asturias. The girl has also been known as Princess of Girona, Princess of Viana, and Duchess of Montblanc in the past, woman who is Countess of Cervera and Lady of Balaguai. In addition to having a few royal names that can be used for different people, Princess Leonor is one of the new queens to be in Europe. The other queens to be are Princess Amalia of the Netherlands, Princess Ingrid of Norway, Princess Elizabeth of Belgium, and Princess Estelle of Sweden. It looks like Beyoncé was right. Who the hell runs the world? Girls. And will be the first queen of Spain since the 1800s when she is done. Isabella I was the last queen regent to lead Spain. She was queen from 1833 to 1868. In 1868, though, the country had a glorious change, and Isabella was removed from power for meddling in politics. In 1874, her son Alfonso XIII became king. Even though Princess Leonor's life looks like a fairy tale, it hasn't been easy. In spite of her polished appearance, she has been through more deaths and scandals than most people would expect in her young life. The sudden resignation of her grandfather, King Juan Carlos, in 2014 changed Princess Leonor's road to the Spanish throne in a big way. Even though it was first presented as a natural passing of the crown, a series of scandals that hurt the image of the Spanish monarchy had a big impact on his decision to step down. One of the most well-known events was Juan Carlos's elephant hunting trip to Botswana in 2012. This happened while Spain was dealing with rising unemployment and a slump caused by the 2008 financial crisis. A lot of people were critical of this expensive and controversial trip and other actions that were seen as shady, and had a big part in his resignation. But even after he stepped down, Juan Carlos was still a controversial figure in public life. In June, the government started looking into him on various charges of corruption. One of the most important of these investigations is about a deal that happened in 2008 to build a high-speed train line in the Middle East. A Spanish company got $8.06 billion to build the line. It was said that King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia gave Juan Carlos $100 million $3 years before the contracts were awarded. The money was said to have been hidden in secret Swiss bank accounts. There were worries that King Philippe VI, Leonor's father, may have indirectly gained from this hidden wealth because of this deal. In response, Philippe I did something very unusual and never done before in March 2021. He took away Juan Carlos's yearly stipend and his personal inheritance from his father. By doing this, he further distanced himself and, by extension, his family from the scandals. As people's attention grew, Juan Carlos revealed that he would be going into self-imposed exile in the United Arab Emirates in 2020. He did this to keep his family from getting any more bad press. Even after he left Spain, the media kept going after him, and his impact was still a source of debate. In one very interesting case, the Spanish media made news by saying that Princess Leonor was like her grandfather. When it came out that Leonor was going to school in Wales, RTVE, Spain's biggest TV station, showed a show called Leonor is Leaving Spain Like Her Grandfather. This comparison, which was probably not meant to be, showed how Leonor's grandfather's acts still affected her own journey. It was a mistake to compare Princess Leonor to her grandfather, who was sent into exile when the young royal applied to a Welsh school without her rank or name on it. On February 10th, King Philippe and Queen Letizia said that Leonor would be going to the elite UWC Atlantic College in the Vale of Glamorgan, Wales, in August 2021. The princess would finish her learning there, where she would study at the well-known International Baccalaureate program. It makes sense that her parents planned to pay the $116,000 course fees, since people have recently been critical of how the former King Juan Carlos handled his money. Princess Leonor doesn't have a lot of options, while other teens daydream about their future jobs and what they will do with their lives. A teenager asked the princess what she wanted to do as an adult while she was on a royal trip to the Spanish island of Mallorca in September 2020. Quickly, before the young princess could answer, her mother, Queen Letizia, spoke up and said something shocking that caught a lot of people's attention. It was blunt, but Queen Letizia said what she has to do, not what she wants to do. Her words made headlines in Spain right away, and they brought attention to the hopes that people have for Princess Leonor as the future Queen of Spain. It may have seemed like an odd thing for a mother to say, especially given Queen Letizia's past, but it shows how much responsibility Leonor will one day have to carry. Letizia's words seem to stress that royal task is more important than personal wants, especially when looking at the long history of the monarchy. Queen Letizia's rise to fame is even more impressive when you think about how she got there from being poor. Letizia Ortiz Rocasolano was not connected to the upper class at all before she married King Felipe VI and became Queen of Spain. Her job as a reporter took her to ABC, CNN, and Bloomberg, three of the most prestigious news outlets in the world. Letizia made a name for herself as a news anchor by reporting live from the front lines of big global events like the invasion of Iraq. She covered such important events during very stressful times, like after the September 11th attacks. Because of how skilled and brave she was during the US presidential elections, it was shocking and sad to see her go from being a famous journalist to a princess. In November 2002, Queen Letizia met King Felipe for the second time. She was there to cover an environmental disaster in northern Spain. Felipe was helping the towns that were hit at the time. He was still the Prince of Asturias. Their work relationship turned into a personal one, and soon after they got married in one of the most famous weddings in modern Spanish history. What Letizia said about Leonor's future might have been based on her own experience of juggling a successful job with the responsibilities of being queen. This lesson will be very important for Leonor, who will be queen someday as she leads Spain, as well as how she handles the demands that come with the job. Princess Leonor might not be able to pick a standard job, but it looks like she had a pretty normal childhood. In 2017, the young princess was said to not have a cell phone or an Instagram account, and she was even said to share a bedroom with her younger sister, Princess Sofia. There are a lot of people who are curious about whether Princess Leonor will win people's hearts like Kate Middleton did. Will the future Queen of Spain become the most loved young ruler of her time? Recently, Crown Princess Leonor swore loyalty to the Spanish Constitution as a promise to take over as Queen of Spain when she retires. In front of a huge crowd, she promised to honor the king and respect the rights of people and autonomous communities. It was the same promise that her father, King Felipe VI, had said 37 years before. The teen looked pretty put together for her age in a white suit and kitten shoes that matched. During the ceremony, she was serious and stayed calm, but when it was time for the photos, she smiled and showed off her braces. A lot of monarchies in Europe have a practice that when the heirs to the throne turn 18, they say something similar. For example, on her 21st birthday in 1947, Queen Elizabeth said she would spend her whole life serving you. On July 12, 2024, she went to Portugal on her first public trip outside of her home country. President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa had invited her. Leonor worked on protecting the ocean and the environment during this trip, and taking part in a discussion about protecting the ocean. At the Jeronimos Monastery, she paid respect to the Portuguese poet Luís de Camões. At Belém Palace, she met with people and was given the Grand Cross of the Military Order of Christ. The young princess's trip was both a big diplomatic moment and a sign of how much she cares about environmental problems around the world. Later, on October 25, 2024, Leonor went to the Princess of Asturias Awards ceremony a sixth time, but this was the first time she played a lead part. As an adult, she gave the speech to honor the winners, which showed how her duties were growing. As she will soon be Queen of Spain, she also officially ended the event and announced the awards for the following year. This was another public appearance for her. Even though Princess Leonor's life is full of royal tasks, it has also been marked by personal tragedies and public scandals. Even with these problems, she keeps rising with ease, showing how strong she is as she faces the stresses of her future as a princess. What do you think about her trip so far? Tell us about them below.